Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer in the Georgia case. Drew Findling joins me now. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Ari. Good being here.
Absolutely. Let's start with this. There have been no charges in this case against Donald Trump. There is no Trump case criminally in Georgia. Why file this new motion and this new request at all?
So, Ari, we as you know, for 8 months, you didn't hear anything from us. A lot of lawyers may have given press conferences every week, every month. We did nothing. We sat idly by. As you know, there was no subpoena or even request for our client to appear. We became public when we heard from the foreperson. We were always suspicious of things that we observed. Of course, the judge declaring that there was an actual and untenable conflict of the district attorney and one of the important witnesses, alleged targets, the lieutenant governor. We were like, that's a problem because normally, as you know, when there's an actual conflict, the prosecutor's office is off everybody's case. So we were concerned there. We were concerned about a flippant attitude towards people asserting their Fifth Amendment rights. And, of course, the fact that most of us intellectually realized that this was only a civil grand jury. But we sat by, didn't say anything until the foreperson spoke. And then she kind of gave us a lens into what we were suspicious of, which was just a kind of a clown show in there. And then when the last article came out, and the other 5 jurors spoke and talked about what they termed as potentially cruel behavior to those that asserted their Fifth. Obviously, you can imagine we have different iterations of this motion. We said it's time to finalize and file. We've had enough.
Okay. You mentioned that. Let's get into what is the evidence and some of the facts here. Here's a little bit of that foreperson speaking.
Did the grand jury recommend an indictment of former President Trump?
I'm not going to speak on exact indictments. I don't think that there are any giant plot twists coming. I don't think that there are any, giant... That's not the way I expected this to go at all. I don't think that's in store for anyone.
And from your new filing, you write throughout the foreperson's media tour and those subsequent statements of those additional grand jurors, which you mentioned, it became apparent. You write, this grand jury was improperly supervised or, worse, improperly instructed from the outset. So, Drew, using this material, are you saying that this or the other grand jurors were actually breaking the law? And if not, why would that cancel out an entire probe?
Well, so the reason we call it a motion to quash is so you understand our culture here. Motions to quash are generally used and when you're trying to throw out an indictment. It's what we generically use. And so what we found interesting there is, and any pundit that's going to analyze this will have to agree with the following. She enlightened us that the grand jurors were permitted to read the newspaper, to go online, to watch TV shows. They were able to watch Ari Melber and get Ari's opinion on what was going on there. That's just unconscionable and unheard of. I've never heard of that in 35 plus years. It doesn't make a difference whether you title it special grand jury or not. The purpose is that they're supposed to hear sworn testimony and then, having heard that over a course of 8 months, render a decision to advise the district attorney whether or not she should indict certain people of certain
But you're
charges.
not saying they broke the law. You're just saying it taints that part of the investigation?
It taints no, I don't have any animosity towards these grand jurors. I am actually appreciative of them furnishing a lens. I'm appreciative of them telling us that a prosecutor ill-advised them that asserting the Fifth Amendment doesn't mean that you're guilty of anything. Anybody that's taken a high school social studies course knows that's not what the Fifth Amendment says. So to have prosecutors that can't even define for you what the Fifth Amendment is, and then in the last interview for the grand jurors, one of the grand jurors to tell a local newspaper that it was almost cruel that when people would assert their Fifth Amendment, they would go ahead and show them videos from other testimony and, what happened in Jan 6th. No one's ever heard of that. Anybody that's involved in grand jury practice knows that is literally a circus atmosphere. And so what you have
every right to make your rendition of it. And what you're saying is you don't hold it against the grand jurors, but they're telling information about that process. And you're saying what? I just want to get to the nub of this, that process is so tainted that you want to quash an indictment that doesn't yet exist?
No, I want to quash, and my team, I want to say my team wants to quash any results contained therein. Anything that came in this 8 months with these folks, this testimony of witnesses that are testifying with bizarre explanations of assertions of the Fifth Amendment, what we believe was a completely erroneous treatment of this as a criminal grand jury. There's no case law to support that. So therefore, you're making people come in front of this body of people and assert the Fifth over and over again. And you're utilizing a material witness statute, which would never happen if this were a civil grand jury,
respectfully,
which it was.
Respectfully, no one's making them invoke the Fifth. If they wanted to give a factual history of what they did and didn't do pursuant to the election, they could do that, Drew.
Yeah, and Ari, that's a great point. But they physically would not have been there had the court determined that this was a civil body, and therefore these folks didn't have to come here from out of state. And that could have changed the results of the recommendations. The recommendations would have been different. And the reason we know it's not a criminal grand jury is they didn't have the ability to charge anybody.
Right, they're not a charging grand jury.
So how is it a criminal grand jury?
Now let's look at one of the...
They're not a charging, and so they're
right,
civil
they're not
body.
a charging grand jury. I understand. Well, you could debate Georgia law, and you know Georgia law very well, but I take your point about what their purpose is. One of the things that really set this all off, the reason that Donald Trump hired you, the reason there is potential legal exposure, and we're hearing your side of it and your arguments, is, of course, that Donald Trump was caught on tape talking to the Secretary of State. Take a listen.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state, and flipping the state is a great testament to our country.
I wanted to get your perspective on this, Drew, given that you're defending Donald Trump in Georgia. When you look at the timeline, Biden won November 7th. The Electoral College certified in December 14th. The subsequent calls, that one and another one, at least according to reporting that he did, came after the Electoral College, under the Constitution, certified this. Was it A, illegal, and B, wrong for him to try to steal the Georgia results after the state had been duly certified?
So, Ari, look, I'm really clear with the fact that I'm not going to try a case, but I will tell you this. I did, along with my team, our due diligence, and we just don't listen to an 8-second clip, which sounds cool, and it's, it's real interesting to play a quick clip. But we've looked at way more than that, and the evidence that we're familiar with, that we've been working on, and are absolutely convinced that our client did not break any law. And you have to understand that this is my home court. This is my home field. And I know that you're very aware of the battles that I have with this district attorney's office over cases in which you have been a hero to many of the folks here about RICO indictments against people exercising their First Amendment rights in music and are being stuck for months on end in these crazy, cheesy indictments where they're eventually let out on probation, but they're caged for 10 months.
And look,
I showed say that in this context.
Well, I brought that up, Drew, because we showed your history. Go ahead.
No, I say that in this context. And look, you've done great with that, and we cheer you on. We know what you did last summer, and it's been phenomenal. But I put it in this context. You have to trust that we're going against that same district attorney's office that's doing these crazy RICO indictments and caging these young men of color for years waiting to go to trial. We have no confidence in the way they've handled those cases. And in like fashion, we have no confidence in their ability to handle this case. We think they have misread the law.
And you get to make that point. And as you know, we've covered all that. But when you look at any demand to change the vote's outcome after certified, here's your chance to tell the world, our viewers, you made the motion to quash, so you're speaking out now. What is the argument for this person, Donald Trump, after the election was certified duly and under law by the Constitution in the state of Georgia, to then demand, at the time secretly demand that officials commit elector and voter fraud?
So, Ari, look, I'm not going to bear down on the specifics, but just as I am passionate about these other cases and knowing the body of work that I'm involved in, whether it's representing post-George Floyd protesters against this district attorney's office pro bono, people that are exercising their First Amendment rights and doing those cases for free, I'm just as passionate.
Yeah.
I will tell you, having looked at the evidence in this case, that there's been no violations of the law by our client.
But Drew,
and he's
you have
innocent.
to. I appreciate
can just tell
that,
you, I have
but
the same level of passion.
But